possible without community, because community brings the expertise that we need in order to move the science forward. So I think this event is a powerful reminder of our collective power. And we've made many strides along the way in terms of HIV prevention and care for people living with HIV, but we have a long way to go. For example, HIV stigma is something that we're still fighting a lot against. And I think this event is also a way to push back against stigma. And so this is also an opportunity to thank our community partners and to thank the thousands of participants that have been a part of our studies and again have helped move the science forward. And I'll say, I know we're all a bit worried about the upcoming years, but if anything, it just reinforces our commitment and motivation to communities and to populations and groups that are impacted by stigma and discrimination. It just reinforces our commitment to those groups, to those communities. So with that, I just want to thank you. For me, my experience here is both a very personal experience as someone who had family members affected by HIV, also professional experience. So I'm just excited to be here in many ways. And so again, I just thank you for being here and I welcome you to our event.
Are we taking turns
But
announcing our? We can do
no,
that
you don't have to. You don't have to, Mama, because
because
it's now it's my turn, docket. So, hello, everyone. I'm super excited again to be here to talk about my participation. That's not even a word. Me participating as the current reigning queen of vaccine. Um, in my male persona, Jala, also known as just Jahlisa. I've been doing advocacy, research, and all that you can say around HIV and AIDS because of my life. And as a person of HIV, just celebrating 23 years as a person of HIV, it is very meaningful that I have infused my love of HIV and AIDS advocacy with my entertainment platform. Because I feel like when people are being entertained with information, they grasp the information different. And it just, I've seen the work that me and my mom has done to bring uh, nightlife and research together. So a bit background about me. I was raised in a Afro-Latino heterosexual household in the South Bronx. I have six siblings. I'm a twin for girl. Me and my twin sister were born in the back of a cop car. And being raised Catholic, my mom's sex ed was don't bring a girl home pregnant. And in the back of my mind, check, that was not going to happen. And so, as navigating my adolescence and puberty in high school, I wanted to be popular, and how I way about being popular was um, lying about having sex. And so, I was the guy that had sex that but never did. And so, I found myself with the peer pressures of obtaining that popularity that I had to do because I'm talking the talk and walking the walk. And so I decided my second day of my sophomore year of high school to go and lose my virginity to a guy that I met that summer. And unbeknownst to me, I did not know that he was HIV positive. So I contracted HIV my first sexual encounter, 15 on to 16. And it has definitely changed my life as a person of HIV contracted at such a young age. I didn't think that I was going to live past my 30th birthday. And I stand in front of you all as 38 years of age, and I'm not planning to go anywhere. And so I've seen what research has done for the HIV positive community. Without research, we wouldn't have the advantage of the medication. Without research, I definitely would be a person here outliving my own life expectation. Without community, I definitely would be here as well. And so, sharing my story has brought me so many opportunities. I go to colleges, high school, community-based organization, and educate young people about the realities of me contracting HIV at such a young age, and just also advocating for my community. I advocate for HIV negative people to have the resources that they need to maintain their negative status, and I also advocate for HIV positive people to utilize the resources and accessibility to medication, housing, etc., that keeps us alive and healthy and well. Um, and I found drag by way of just being depressed with myself and just not knowing. And drag has helped save my life as putting myself on stage. All my performances are dedicated to all the lives that we've lost to the HIV and AIDS epidemic. I think about the art that we was lost prematurely from this world. And so with every performance, I put my all in it. And I'm happy to say that it is amazing what the drag community or entertainment life, nightlife community can do in bringing education and awareness. And I'm not going anywhere. I don't plan to go anywhere. And hopefully one day you will see me on Drag Race as the first openly HIV positive queen to win. It's a little bit about me. And I will answer questions later on. Thank you. And now, being that we are talking about research, and we all here, I definitely now want to turn the floor I want to turn the floor to Debbie so that Debbie can talk about the current research that we have here that we're doing at Project Achieve and Columbia Presbyterian. Debbie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Jai. You're such an inspiration. So let me share some slides. Okay. Look okay? If people seeing the right view? Okay, great. So as John mentioned, I'm going to give just one example of one of the studies that Columbia Research Unit and Project Achieve are conducting. So we have much to celebrate in the realm of HIV research, but we still have a lot of work to do. So the past 40 years have seen incredible advances in HIV treatment and prevention, but more progress is needed. And to end the HIV epidemic, we need an HIV vaccine. So how would an HIV vaccine work? An HIV vaccine would work in part by teaching a person's body to make antibodies, which are proteins that help fight infections. Special types of antibodies against HIV can attach to the virus and keep the virus from causing an infection. And what do we know about these special antibodies? Well, some people who are living with HIV naturally make these very special antibodies, but only after years of living with the virus, and it's rare to make these. So clinical trials through the HIV Vaccine Trials Network, or the HVTN, are studying how to teach a person's immune system to make these antibodies. And these very special antibodies could be very important for both treatment and prevention of HIV in the future. So HVTN 807 is a phase 1 HIV vaccine study. And it's one of the studies that's researching how to make an HIV vaccine that could teach a person's immune system to make one type of these very special antibodies. So the study is enrolling people living with HIV who are in overall good health and are 18 to 60 years old, and about 40 people are expected to enroll. And the goal of the study is to understand immune responses that could help guide the development of an HIV vaccine. And the study is being conducted both in the United States and in South Africa, but here are the areas in the United States that are taking part. And so you can see over here, Columbia Research Unit and Project Achieve are the sites in New York City. And so, just to end with, the future of HIV treatment and prevention is strong. And it's the combination of community stakeholder guidance, science, and advocacy that will drive the next decade of success. Thank you. We'll do questions at the end. And then I wanted to turn things over to Stella Oro, Queen of Vaccine for 5 years and Queen Mom of Vaccine for 15. She is an AIDS activist. She's been on the community advisory board of our clinical trials unit since 2001. And she has shared a stage with Cheetah Rivera and Beacon Newworth and numerous other entertainers through her work as president of Dancers Over 40 for the past 18 years. So thank you again, and over to you.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. What we're doing here today is obviously not performance. So what I thought I would do is show you some of my performances while I talk. So you can see what has happened over the last 20 years. And of course, I'll probably talk over the end of it, as I usually do. But right now, we're only going to go over how I came to be Stella. So we're only going to start back at 2004 and not my activist stuff from the 80s and all the rest. But that influenced, me coming to this and bringing all these ideas for Project Achieve to do. So what happened was I was going on vacation, and I went and I saw that they had a talent contest, and it was really awful, a drag contest and a leather contest and all these different things. So the next year I went, I thought I would like show them. I dared them, and I didn't have a name. They gave me a name. I had no dress. It was like a one-shot deal. And what happened was I won. The people there afterwards wanted me to, to celebrate me and ask me what I was doing next and where they could find me. And I said, that's it, I'm done. And one older gentleman came up to me and put his hand on my shoulders and said, don't let Stella die. And I thought about that when I went home. And, there was a new club opening near me, so I thought I would go there. So I did my one number there and I won. And the hostess, Allison Tilson, said, with her microphone, so what are you going to do with your winnings, your $100? I said, I'm going to give it to Project Achieve. And I explained to her what it was. So she said to me, so you're the Queen of Vaccine. And if that had not happened, I would not be here on this webinar right now. I had a full-time job. I was still doing my activist stuff, but I never thought that clicked. So I went back to the board and I said, do you go out at night and, hand out leaflets and stuff? And they thought it was a hard thing to do because, the kids are drinking and everything. So I said, what about if you have a little card and it says something about Stella, listen to your mother. And so they liked that idea. So we did that. And I was still performing at that same club. I decided to continue to perform. And that's the club you see right now, Therapy. And from there, it went to a show where we did Vaccine-alicious in 2005 with Allison as the first host. And so it's gone from that one little show in 2005 to we will be celebrating our 20th anniversary in May of World AIDS Day, this 2025. So I'm very proud of it, and that it is a local thing. And so we're taking all of the information that Debbie gave you and that Magda gives you, and we're presenting it in an easily obtainable way for people at a club. And we get the kids involved by having a contest. And so we have these contests every year, so we involve more and more people. And we use them for our Vaccine-alicious shows and our mini ones around the boroughs. So we go to Harlem, we go to Brooklyn, we go to Queens. So we get around, we get the word out. So that's basically what we've been doing. And as far as all you kids and what you do, everyone has their own path. I did not expect to go down this path at all. It wasn't on my list to do 20 years ago when I was 55. If it wasn't for this, I really don't know what I would be doing with my life. I would just be doing activist work with all these old people. Anyway, and as president of Dancers Over 40, our motto is our history, our legacy, our lives. And I can see that being used here as well, because when I talk to the kids, they're making history right now. And they're making their legacy. And this is what we need. They need to make that history now. And so without hitting them over the head, we try and get them to get involved in some way or another. They can volunteer for a show. If they don't not want to be in a trial, they can be in a study and get paid for some of the different trials we have, studies we have. So there's a variety of ways that you could help, and we certainly need it now. So that is, in a nutshell, the story of Stella, chapters 62 to 69. You'll get the rest at a different time about how my activism started and how I was in the first vaccine trial ever, the VaxGen trial in 1998, Don Francis. So I was in that, and that's how I got on the board. And then from the board, the Stella thing happened, and the rest is herstory. So right now, as far as what I see here, we have the Q&A right now. Is that correct, Jorge?
No, we have George that's going to give us another research study that we are currently doing. And then
Here. Okay.
and then we will open up for some questions and Q&A.
Okay.
So George, take it away.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Ja. So it was great to put on an event with you. I'm happy that we can be here to celebrate World AIDS Day and also honor the both of you. As I mentioned, our work can't move forward without our collaborations with our community partners. So I'll also share some slides with you all. Let's see. Okay. Can everyone see my slide okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so first I'll just tell you a bit about our organization, Project Achieve. We're located within the Lindsay F. Kimball Research Institute at the New York Blood Center. And so Project Achieve has been around since 1993, so over 30 years of work that we've been doing, and with a goal to effectively find ways to prevent HIV infection. And for this, we collaborate with local partners in New York City, also across the nation, and also across the world in order to strive towards this goal. And we focus on kind of three major areas: research, education, and community. So in research, Debbie talked about a vaccine study. And so there's kind of two major kind of types of research we do. One is our clinical trials, our biomedical research, and the other one is our behavioral research, which I'm going to talk about one of those studies. So we focus on trying to find a vaccine to prevent HIV, but we also have our behavioral studies that look at how can we improve the lives of people living with HIV. For people who are on PrEP or not on PrEP, how can we get them to use PrEP? For people who are living with HIV, how can we support them staying on their medications, going to their doctor's appointments? So also looking at just the lived experiences of people who are trying to live healthy, happy lives. So our research, again, focuses on both prevention and treatment. We also focus on education, so providing up-to-date science-based information, and also building awareness of the research that we do and the great things that we hopefully want to create. And also, again, it's about our partnerships. So creating partnerships locally, globally, nationally, and also offering tailored programming for communities across the city. So the study I wanted to talk to you today that we're really excited about is called the LIFT study. And so with this is a study funded by the National Institutes of Health. And so there's two big questions that we're asking with this study. It's a 2-year study. And so one question is, what does geographic mobility look like for Latino, gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men? And by mobility, we mean things like people who are immigrants or migrants who are doing a lot of moving, right? In and out of the city, in and out of the country. What does mobility look like for this group of this population? And the other research question, as a follow-up to that, is how does geographic mobility impact men in terms of being able to take their HIV prevention medications or PrEP, or taking their HIV treatment medication, so antiretroviral therapy? So we're looking at these two things, mobility and people's kind of ability to take their medications, to either prevent HIV or to maintain an undetectable status by staying on their meds. And so why is this important? We know that Latino men may move around often, but for what kinds of reasons? We're not sure. This is something we want to explore in the study. Why do guys move around? What's the reasons? How do they plan to move around? And this is also important because for some folks, it may be difficult to take their medications consistently. So there's certain challenges, right? Maybe people forget or there's just other priorities. So what are some of those challenges? And so how can we better support Latino men in keeping up with their medications when they travel? And so these are kind of the basic questions that we want to answer to then develop a program that can support people staying on the medications, especially a population that is very mobile because if they're immigrants or migrants. And so for this study, we want to recruit really a diverse group of Latino, gay, and bi, and other men who have sex with men. So as I mentioned, because we want to focus on people who staying on their PrEP medication, we're recruiting guys who are HIV negative because we also want to support people who are living with HIV. We're also recruiting people who are living with HIV and on antiretrovirals. We also want to make sure we get representation of geographic area, right? So we want to recruit guys who are coming from Mexico and Central America, South America, Puerto Rico, and Dominican Republic. So those kind of 4 major areas. We want to make sure we're recruiting guys with different experiences of immigration in terms of recency. So guys that have come to New York City and to the US more recent, and also guys that have been here a long time, right? They're going to have very different experiences in terms of managing their medications. And also, obviously, we want to make sure we're inclusive in terms of language. So we'll be recruiting participants who speak English, but also people who only speak Spanish. And so I'll say for this first part of the study, we're first in the first month recruiting folks who speak in English, and then afterwards, once we're settled in, then we're going to recruit guys who speak in Spanish only. So in that sense, we're trying to recruit a broad range of guys. And so this study is going to involve 2 study visits, one at the beginning, what we call month 0, and then 1 visit 12 months later. And what happens at each visit is we're going to interview participants and ask them things about like, what do you do to stay healthy? How do you prepare to travel? And what kind of worries come up when you think about traveling? What are the reasons for your traveling? We'll also do something called mobility mapping. It's just we're really going to ask detailed questions about people's travel experiences. In other words, where do they travel to, for how long, how often, and what time of the year to really understand that mobility kind of issue for them. And then a brief survey where you just ask questions about like your demographic backgrounds, experience you've had with discrimination, your cultural values, and just use all of this to really understand the experiences of guys so we can develop a program that supports, again, people in taking their HIV prevention and HIV treatment medications. So folks do get paid for participating. It's $150 for participating in the study. And so, we're going to be open to enrollment very soon. So if you're interested or you know someone who might be interested, go ahead and scan that QR code. And maybe like save the link for later or send it to a friend if you or someone else who might be interested and eligible. That QR code leads to a screener online where you answer a few questions that'll let you know if you're eligible or not. And if you are and are interested in participating, you can send us your contact information and then we'll follow up with you. So again, just take a moment to scan that QR code if you need to. Also, the link to that same screener is achievestudies.org, which is right there on the screen. Or you can also feel free to reach out to us by our website or at my email, jsoler@nybc.org. And again, I'll take questions at the end, but thank you again for your attention. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, George, for that. At this point of our presentation, we are now open for any questions that you have for either me, Stella, George, or Gabby. I'm Debbie, sorry. And then we'll just wrap up in a few minutes and then, let you all enjoy the rest of your day. So if you have any questions for us, you can now type it down in the chat box. Use your chat feature. Please don't be shy.
And also, I should mention that I'm at Barracuda every Thursday for the Star Search show, and I give out all the information there for the kids, and that's where I meet most of the kids that are in the events that we do. So stop by there. It's late at night, 11 o'clock, 11:30. Keisha Carr is the host, and it's a great time. And Columbia and Project Achieve are there sometimes with me, and it's just a great show and a great community there.
Do you also want to plug your brunch?
Huh?
Yeah,
Do you also
Oh,
want
do I want
plug
to
your
plug?
brunch?
Well, yeah, yeah, so I'm currently doing a brunch every Sunday now in Harlem at Urbano Cafe. It is located on 143rd and Broadway, and it's a fun time. It's a late brunch, from like 2 to 4. Two shows are anywhere between 2:30 to 4. We had a good time yesterday. And so if you're looking for a drag brunch spot, come and see me. Come and check me out there every Sunday for now.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Doesn't look like anybody have any questions. I think um we can we can move forward and wrap up. Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, feel free to either type in the chat box or unmute yourself if you have a question or a comment.
oh yeah, we'll take comments as well. You guys are very shy, but I get it. Wrapping up towards the end of the day.
I think I'm John with Project Achieve, and having Stella and just Jahlisa as visible spokespersons has been very impactful, and being at it for so many years, I think we want to build the 20th anniversary of Vaccinalicious and have an even more spectacular event. So ideas and suggestions and sponsors, if people are connected, we're trying to build this event, and there's a competition at it for the Queen of Vaccine, and more on that to come. But I want to thank them for all that they do and to advance the cause.
Well, thank you. Thank you, John. Seems like we don't have any questions or comments. So we want to thank you all for that, for your time. But I have a special announcement. As you all know, I'm the current reigning queen of vaccine. But today, or should I say soon, I'll be relinquishing my title and passing it on to another amazing queen of nightlife or celebrity ambassador that can definitely further the message around our research study, to definitely get community involved and to just get everybody full aware of what's currently happening in science around HIV vaccine research study. And as I relinquish that crown, I will be gaining a new crown. You can see that. I'm gaining a new crown. I will now be your current reigning queen of U equals U, just as a representation for our amazing HIV positive community and participants that we are opening our studies to, and just to bring more of be visibility more for my HIV positive community, to let them know that we have an amazing research study, Project Achieve, and Columbia Presbyterian Research Unit that are definitely looking to advance the aid of people living with HIV in all aspects and research. And so I'm happy to now be your new queen of U equals U. You'll be seeing more of me and more of my visibility and reeling in more participants. And so it's an honor to definitely be that person, to be a voice and be the face for my community and people that are like me.
And to add to your court, Ja, I see that one of our friends, JMV, is now the U equals U person on Scruff for World AIDS Day. And Richard JMV was one of my backup boys when he was like 18 years old. And since he's here converted, he has gotten very politically involved and is with Broadway Bears. And he came and he spoke at our last Vaccinalicious show. So yes, we do need more people like John and like Richard JMV to help with that as well, because we have to be all encompassing as an organization. So, and I want to thank John for these last 5 years, because we had Peppermint for 15 years. A lot of that was on video because she became a superstar. But all that was me for 5 years, then Peppermint for 10, then Ja. And so we haven't had very many. So they're big shoes to fill. What size are your shoes, Ja? Big shoes, big shoes.
Well, that definitely concludes our presentation. Thank you all for coming in and participating and hearing what we have going on here. Definitely, again, if you have any questions, you can email us. Definitely get involved. Tell your people to get involved. And without you all, we know that research would not be possible. So definitely having community aspect involvement is crucial and key. And I thank you all for coming. Any final words from anyone else?
I do want to say, Jai, you brought up how we lost all of these performers and people in the 80s. We also lost the audience that went to see them. And so we are now addressing the audience directly to make sure that they stay healthy and that they get the word out. Because it's not just the performers, it's also the audience that needs to get involved. And that's what we're trying to do. So again, come see John on Sundays, come see me on Thursdays. All right, listen to your mother from me, and John, list your social media. I'm at Stella Queen Mum on Instagram and TikTok, and Stella.Doro1 on Facebook. And John?
Jahlove _ the brand on Instagram and Jahlove Serrano on Facebook.
Right. So we're all covered.
And of course, follow Project Achieve and Columbia Research Unit on Instagram and Facebook and other social media outlets.
That's right. That's right, of course.
We're building the audience.
And don't forget Mpox, New York State Department of Health. Get your Mpox shot and see my Instagram PSA for Mpox. So thank you, Jorge, for doing this, and Johnny and Jorge, Soler and Debbie and Magda. Oh, Michael Hodge is here. Hi, Michael. I know. But I hope you all get involved in some way with us so that we can continue the work. So who's going to sign us off? Bye, all. Thank you all for coming.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you.